Tomorrow before the market open at 8:30 Eastern time, we're going to get the latest CPI number, the inflation number, and these are the expectation. The CPI month over month 0.4%, year over year 5.0%, ex-food energy 0.4% for month to month, and year over year 5.5%. So if there's any of these things again deviated on the upside, we better get ready. The market is expecting the inflation not running hot, so they're expecting that to look for the pause and possible rate cut from the Fed. But I think that is still wishful thinking. So let's go and take a look at how the index is doing so far for the week. As you can see from this table here, week to date, the worst performer is still the Dow Jones Transportation, and the best performer is the New York Stock Exchange Composite. We see the S&P 500 is down 0.41% or 17 points for the week to date, and 58 points for the NASDAQ 100 or 0.44%. Now, the NASDAQ 100 is still holding a little bit over 20% gain for year to date, and the S&P 500 is holding just a little bit over 7.25% for year to date. The Russell 2000 still being the worst performer for year to date. And here looking at the intraday action of the S&P 500, as you can see today, we have a gap down. And you can see that it kind of fluctuated, just kind of chopping around throughout the morning until at the middle of lunch hour, we saw a little bit of a run up and ran back up and made a new high of the day before it reverses back down and closed near the low of the day as the OPX, the daily 0 DTE OPX, come into play here. So you see the S&P 500 close down 19 points, so 0.45% at 4119.25. And we see there are 27 more new 52-week low than 52-week high. And also notice the up-down volume ratio throughout the morning is pretty much negative, and then in the afternoon we saw a positive, and then to the close we went back to negative and finished the day with a 1.2 negative up-down volume ratio. That means 1.2 to 1 in favor of the down volume. And also the VIX been hovering around that 17.75 level. And the put-call ratio is still inside this 1.75 zone. So there's still hedging going on, and it is sitting at 0.86. And also the daily advanced decline, we have 589 more declining issue than advancing issue. At the opening, we actually saw 1,282 more declining issue than advancing issue. So you can see it was a little bit of an improvement throughout the day. And here again, we're seeing the advanced decline line continue to move down. So we're still trying to get these negative divergence get resolved. So we're still waiting for those resolutions to take place. And here on the NASDAQ, we see the NASDAQ 100 closed down 90 points or 0.68%. And you see the up-down volume ratio was about 1.5 to 1 in favor of the down volume. 679 more declining issue than advancing issues. And here the new high, new low, 99 more new 52-week low than 52-week high. And also the AD line is coming down, but we're still looking for this resolution here on this negative divergence. Now let's take a look at the index ETF, starting with the diamond, the Dow Jones Industrial ETF. You can see last week we have this engulfing candle here with a long bottoming wick. And today, so far this week, we have this inside candle here. And also notice that last week it dipped back below this trend line. So it's back inside of this triangle here. And right now, this week's upper range is 341. And the lower range is somewhere between 332 and 330. So right now, we're basically looking for the possibility of this continue to move down to the low range and possibly come down and test this trend line here, and also this potential support level at 325.62. So depending on what tomorrow brings, if the CPI come out negative, with the disappointment, then we could see a negative reaction from the market, and we could see these indexes start moving downward. I don't believe it will break above the high here maybe we could come back up and test this composite point of control here somewhere around 338.79, and maybe at best come up and try to tag this upper range of the expected move. And for the spider, the ETF for the S&P 500, also putting in a inside candle here, this weekly candle. Again, just like the Dow Jones Industrial, the diamond, there was a engulfing candle with a long bottom and wick. So right now we're going to see what it come back down, and right now it's sitting below this composite point of control. So expectation is for it to come down and tag the low range of the expected move somewhere between 406 and 403. The upper range is somewhere up at the 419.50 area. So we'll see tomorrow. If it come down, then we expect this low range could be tagged, and ultimately we're looking for this trend line here to possibly get tested for support here. So we'll be looking somewhere around this 394 area. And for the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 ETF, you see that it is holding quite well so far for the week here, even though it's a little bit of a topping candle here. So we'll see what it come back down to this weekly expected move, the lower range somewhere around 317 and 314.50. The upper range is up here somewhere near the 329, 330 area. So we're looking to see would it come down and tag the lower range and possibly test this trend line before it might make another push and get up to this 80% major move and possibly this 100% major move of this, you could call it a bull flag or just basically a symmetry move. So we'll see would this continue to move up and take out these major move level and possibly take out this pivot high here. But if it breaks below this trend line, then we could look for the possibility of coming down and break this 302.84, this potential support level. It's a little bit of a low volume node here. So we'll see how that will play out, because right now the NASDAQ 100 is still holding up fairly well, because basically those FANG stock is still holding up quite well, although today some of them have given up some of the recent gain. And for the Russell 2000 ETF IWM, basically looking for this thing to continue to work itself down and break this consolidation area, this balance area. This week, the expected move lower range is somewhere between 170 and 168.70, and the upper range is somewhere around 179.60 to 178.90. But I'm looking for this thing to come down and possibly get down and test this 168.99 or 169 area and see would it be able to hold. If it doesn't, then we're basically looking for this October low to get tested. Before I give you an update on Tesla, let me just bring your attention to my Substack page. I post various additional contents throughout the week on my Substack page, and the link is smtraderca.substack.com. And if you are not a subscriber on my Substack page, you might want to go and check it out and click on the subscribe, because it is totally free and you get to see all these additional contents from me. Like last night, I posted this about Tesla. And if you're a subscriber on my Substack, you would have seen this post in your mailbox this morning. And in that post, you would have seen me go through my analysis using multiple time frame, and also go through various trade setup scenario and the possibility of different time frame. So go and check it out. See would it be something of your interest in getting these additional content, and click on the subscribe to subscribe to my Substack page. Now let's take a look at Tesla here. I'm not going to go through the detail of the trade setup and that kind of stuff. I would refer you to go read about it in my Substack page. But what I will do is just basically just kind of give you an update here. And as you can see today, Tesla opened gap down. So basically, if you are looking to set up this trade based on what I have put out in my Substack page, then there wasn't an opportunity for you to get in today unless you are basically trying to chase it. But if you were able to get in yesterday or earlier based on your other setup, and you're just following this trade here, then you can see that it opened down near the low of yesterday's, and it came down and tagged the 127 1.272. And if you're a scalper and trading a Fibonacci retracement type of a setup, then one would possibly maybe scale some off on, take some profit off the table. And when it come down close to this 1618, then that's where you most likely will close that trade. But as you can see, that it did not come down to 1.618, came close to it and it got a nice bounce and came back up. And there was a little resistance and support here at this 167.93 area. And you could see that it came back and reclaimed that level and then come back up to right near the open or near the low of yesterday. So basically made a round trip. But again, if you are looking for to set up a swing trade using this setup here, then maybe it might come up and fill this gap here and give us another opportunity to set up this trade to play this on a swing basis to come down to this low here, somewhere around 152. Now, there is a potential 165 level here as a potential support that we have to pay attention to. And I do have a alert to set on here near this 165. So that is the little update. So let's see what tomorrow brings for Tesla. It could just continue to reverse back down and take out this 1.618 and come down to this 165 and try to fill this gap here. So once again, if you are interested in these additional content, go visit my Substack page. The link is smtraderca.substack.com, and be sure to subscribe. Right now, it's completely free for you to subscribe to that newsletter. And be sure to smash the thumbs up to give it a like to help me promote this video on YouTube. And if you're new to this channel and you'd like to continue to watch these content, click on the subscribe. Thank you for watching.